to order. It is Tuesday, November 11th, 2025, and the time is 6:04. I've asked Pastor G if he would come up and lead us in prayer, and then we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance.
Good evening, everybody. Amen. You all would just bow your heads. Eternal and most gracious God, our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. First of all, God, we just want to say thankful. We are grateful and blessed. We thank you for this gathering on this evening. Thank you for the city of Everman, our mayor, the city manager, and all of the officials. And God, as we assemble here in this meeting, we pray thy blessing be upon each of us. And God, we need thee like never before. And bless us one by one, bless us as a whole. And God, we have a lot of unfinished business to do. Help us to give us the wisdom, the knowledge to be able to accomplish the goals that you have set out us to do. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Okay, so before we move down to consent agenda, I would like to ask anybody in the military, if you are veterans for the military, if you'd please stand. I'd like to recognize you. I attended the Tarrant County Veterans Day Parade this morning in Fort Worth, and it's the 250th anniversary yesterday of our Marines, and it's been 50 years since the end of the Vietnam War. So thank you for your service. So next item is consent agenda. Item A is minutes from the regular meeting, October 14, 2025. I'll entertain a motion.
I move we approve the minutes as noted.
Second.
We didn't read.
Second.
Motion made second. Any further discussion?
Well, I'd like to, do we not have September's minutes? Were they on the last one?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you.
Would you poll the council?
Place 1.
Aye.
Place 2.
Aye.
Place 4.
Aye.
Place 5.
Aye.
Place 6. Aye. Mayor.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Next item is financials for September 2025. I'll entertain a motion to accept.
I make the motion to accept financials September 2025.
Second.
Just one point of clarity on these financials. They are September 2025 financials, but they are not audited financials. So these are not official year-end numbers until we complete the audit. But just because they're September numbers, I just wanted to clarify that.
Any further discussion? Would you poll the council?
Place 1.
Aye.
Place 2.
Aye.
Place 4.
Aye.
Place 5.
Aye.
Place 6. Aye. Mayor.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay, so next item is presentations. Item A, proclamation honoring Pastor Michael G. Pastor G, I attended his 5036, correct? 50 years of service as a pastor and 36 years here at the Sweet Home Church in Everman. Is that correct?
50 years of preaching, 36 years of pastoring one church.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
All right. So, was an incredible event. That's all I'll say. But, okay, so proclamation honoring Pastor Michael G. Whereas Pastor Michael G. has faithfully served the Lord, the Sweet Home Church of Everman, Texas, and the wider community for 5 decades, dedicating his life to the spiritual care, guidance, and uplifting of others. And whereas Pastor G first answered his sacred calling 50 years ago, committing himself to preaching the gospel with conviction, compassion, and unwavering devotion, and has since remained steadfast in that calling through every season of ministry. And whereas throughout his tenure at Sweet Home Church, Pastor G has led with integrity, humility, and love, inspiring not only his congregation, but also countless individuals across the city of Everman and the surrounding region. And whereas Pastor G's ministry extends far beyond the pulpit, touching lives through mentorship, community outreach, prayer, partnership with local leaders, and a genuine heart for service, reflecting the true spirit of service leadership. And whereas under Pastor G's leadership, Sweet Home Church has remained a place of refuge, fellowship, and spiritual growth, grounded in faith traditions while embracing a forward-looking mission to uplift and strengthen the community. And whereas the city of Everman recognizes that strong faith communities contribute to the well-being, resiliency, and unity of our city, and Pastor G has played a vital and enduring role in fostering that strength. And whereas today we express heartfelt appreciation for Pastor G's lifetime of dedication, his enduring commitment to ministry, and the positive impact he continues to have on the people he serves, now therefore be proclaimed that the City Council of the City of Everman, Texas, do hereby proclaim Sunday, November 16th as Pastor Michael G. Day in the City of Everman, Texas, and encourage all citizens to join in recognizing and celebrating Pastor Michael G. for his 50 years of faithfulness in ministry, leadership, and service.
Oh, no, not at all. Quick. Uh-oh. You had it in your hand? Next one.
Okay, next we have a proclamation honoring Burl Hollingsworth. Burl's been a member of our Economic Development Committee, I guess since it was founded. So, but anyway, Burl, he's been we get in our meetings and he's a head of reasoning, and he's to the point on a lot of stuff, and he's been, the city has benefited from him being a member of the board, so. But anyway, proclamation honoring Burl Hollingsworth for his services to the Everman Community Development Corporation. Whereas the Everman Community Development Corporation, or CDC, plays a vital role in supporting economic development, enhancing quality of life, and investing in the future of the city of Everman, Texas. And whereas Mr. Burl Hollingsworth has faithfully served as a valued member of the Everman Community Development Corporation Board for many years, bringing his insight, dedication, and deep commitment to the betterment of the Everman community. And whereas during his tenure, Mr. Hollingsworth contributed to meaningful initiatives focused on business development, community revitalization, infrastructure improvements, and strengthening the economic foundation of Everman, always guided by a genuine desire to see the community grow and thrive. And whereas Mr. Hollingsworth has consistently demonstrated a spirit of collaboration, thoughtful leadership, and wavering support for efforts that foster opportunity, civic pride, and long-term sustainability for the residents and the businesses of Everman, and whereas his service on the CDC board reflects a legacy of stewardship, civic responsibility, and commitment to public service, and has positively shaped the vision and progress of our city. And whereas the city of Everman recognizes and deeply appreciates the time, talent, and care that Mr. Hollingsworth has dedicated to serving our community, and expresses sincere gratitude for his invaluable contribution. Now therefore, the City of Everman, the City Council of the City of Everman, Texas, do hereby express on behalf of the City Council, City staff, and the entire Everman community our profound appreciation for Mr. Burl Hollingsworth, for his years of service and leadership on the Everman Community Development Corporation Board, and extend our best wishes for fulfillment and enjoyment in his years ahead. He's very thoughtful, he's business-minded, and he's been another godsend to our city, so he's going to be missed. What's that? I get tongue-tied after reading a few of these. But Earl's the owner of House of Brains on Route 35, so that's why he gets brains. Now we're going to get to the nitty-gritty. Next item, item C, swearing in and badge pinning ceremonies. Marin Hoffa, Animal Services Officer. Should I read all four of these?
No, just one.
Okay. First one's Marin Hoffa, Animal Services Officer.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Mayor Hoffa,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
I will faithfully execute the duties
to faithfully execute the duties
of the City of Everman, of the offices of the City of
of
Everman,
the offices of the City of Everman,
Animal Services
Animal
Officer
Services Officer
of the State of Texas,
of the State of Texas,
and will to the best of my ability
and will to the best of my abilities
preserve,
preserve,
protect,
protect,
and defend
and defend
the Constitution and laws
the Constitution and laws
of the United States
of the United States
and of this state.
and of the state.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Mayor, Council, I just wanted to introduce our new Animal Control Officer. Marin comes from another agency, has some great experience, and has an incredible love for the animals. She's already been working really hard to find homes, and she's been out in the field just really getting after it. She didn't take very long to train at all, and we're really excited to have her here on the team.
Also, just a quick note for the families. Y'all can get up. When we're doing the badge pinning and the swearing in, if y'all want good pictures and you want to get up and get around there, by all means, please do so. Take as many pictures as you want. This is exactly what it's for. So you're not going to offend anybody by getting up and getting pictures. Get all the ones you want.
I should have announced that before. Okay, so next is Daquan Rhines with the police officer.
Mayor and council, you've heard me talk about Daquan. He's a gentleman that's been in the academy for the last several months. He has successfully completed the academy, passed his state test, and is currently in field training. He's working night shift, so you don't get to see him very much. He's wasn't real sure about night shift to start with, but he's starting to like it now. He understands why night shift is so important. If you would raise your right hand, repeat after me. I, Daquan Ryan, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of the city of Everman, police officer of the state of Texas, and will to the best of my ability preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and of this state. So help me God. And at this point, we do the badge pinning. A family member is going to stab it.
Congratulations, man. Absolutely.
So I'll do these two.
Yes, sir. Yeah, these two of those.
Okay, so next up is Matthew Ingram and Christopher Fox, firefighters.
What's up, guys? Good. Mayor, Council, so to explain a little bit, on the fire services, it's a little bit differently than how we do other things. And so both these gentlemen have actually been working here for the city of Everman for the last 6 months. And when you enroll in the fire service and you start somewhere, it's not like starting a regular job. You really have to start from scratch, and you have to learn all of the ins and outs of that department. These gentlemen, over the last 6 months, have had to really prove themselves as firefighters. And tonight, we are celebrating their completion of probation. Not only have they had to just show up to work and pass a couple of tests, they have to go through very rigorous studying and passing and completing skills tests, passing and completing an oral board, essentially, with our medical director. So it's a very grueling and very tasking experience that I'm sure both of these gentlemen are very glad is over, and they can finally take the next step on. So as with tradition when we do this, these gentlemen will now be able to go from having a very ugly P on the front of their helmet, because on the fire ground, everybody knows what the P stands for, and Proby, and that's a lot of times how they get treated. But they get to graduate to an actual number and a helmet shield. And I can tell you, I don't get to work with the firefighters as often as I used to, but I've had the pleasure of working with both of them, and we've got some amazing firefighters here. We're very glad that you two are here to receive this tonight. I'm proud of you, and I know the Chief is too. Unfortunately, Chief couldn't be here this evening. He had some other prior engagements that he couldn't make it here, so he asked me to kind of step in and fill in for him. So, gentlemen, if you would, both please raise your right hands and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Christopher Fox,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the duties as a firefighter
the duties as a firefighter
of the City of Everman
of the City of Everman
Fire Department,
Fire Department,
and I will support
and I will support
and defend
and defend
the Constitution and laws
the Constitution and laws
of the United States
of the United States
and the state of Texas.
and the state of Texas,
For it is my duty
for it is my duty
to serve
to serve
those I swore to protect,
those I swore to protect,
safeguard,
safeguard,
and preserve life
and preserve life
and property
and property
against fire and other perils.
against fire and other perils.
I recognize
I recognize
the badge of my office
the badge of my office
as a symbol of public trust
as a symbol of public trust
in the fire department,
in the fire department,
and I vow
and I vow
to be faithful
to be faithful
to the traditions and ethics
to the traditions and ethics
of the fire service
of the fire service
and the oath that I take.
and the oath that I take.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, gentlemen. So Penning Firefighter Fox is Lieutenant Newton, and I'm assuming, is this your dad? I don't want to, not your brother, right? Grandpa. I thought you were his brother there for a second. I wasn't sure. That's your grandfather. So glad to have you. And then, Lieutenant and Grandpa, would y'all please do the honors as well? I think it'll mean more coming from you guys. Have it back here. Okay, perfect. As with everything in government, you gotta sign something. So, would y'all mind signing right here real quick? And then these are y'all's to take. Yeah, yeah. They don't want a picture with me. You want me to get up over here in a minute? We gotta go back. The speakers and wires. Please, y'all come on in too. All y'all, come on in. It's a family affair. Come on. Yep, no, we're good. We're good. Everybody ready? Yeah, absolutely. No, you're fine. We got all night. We're not rushing.
It was half the audience.
So next item is citizens' comments. We don't have any, so discussion items. Item A, review, discussion, and potential updates related to the City of Everman travel and training policy.
All right. I think these got a little out of order, but that's all right. We'll go with this one, which is my fault, but we're good. I provided everybody a copy this evening of a proposed draft amendment to our travel and training policy. So I wanted to highlight kind of the high-level changes and allow you an opportunity to review this policy. This is a draft. We are not asking for you to approve or vote on this at all tonight. I wanted to give you plenty of opportunity to review it. One of the big things that was driving us to review our travel and training policy was, first off, our per diem rate. So our per diem rate currently is less than actually half of what the federal rate is and the GSA recommended rate is. So we are well below the standard that most cities and the federal government go by, if not all cities. I don't know any city that doesn't adopt the GSA standard. So this policy, if approved, would implement that the city of Everman would adopt the GSA standard, meaning that anytime the federal per diem rate changes, our rate would change. So we should never have to come back and update this again. The federal GSA rate goes in line with inflation and they follow that. So it kind of puts all the burden on them and we don't have to worry about doing any. Hey Chief, I'm sorry. I don't want to kick them out by any means. Can we just close the doors that separate? Perfect. Thank you, sir. They can party out there all night long. We're good with that. So it would just keep it in line, and it puts the burden back on the federal government to change the rates, which makes that part a little bit easier. Another gap that we've identified is that we are currently, by policy, if we have an employee who attends a conference where breakfast, lunch, and maybe even dinner are provided, we still have to pay per diem. And so it's kind of giving away the farm, so to speak, and it doesn't provide for any adjustment on events where breakfast and lunch are provided. In this policy, that would change. So we would adopt the GSA rate based on the location of where they're traveling. If breakfast is provided, we would deduct 15%. If lunch is provided, we would deduct 25%. If both those were provided, we would deduct 40%, combining. So it makes it more in line and fair for every employee to make sure that, A, we're covering our fair share of what we should be covering, but also that we're not just giving employees money when meals are provided. So it kind of provides a higher level of accountability there across the board. This policy also kind of, well, it doesn't kind of, it adds some clarity as far as the use of city vehicles versus personal vehicles. It encourages the use of city vehicles. It also offers some clarity in lodging, which Susan and I have been discussing, and we may want to even consider adding a little bit more clarity on the lodging, because we have noticed a trend recently where employees who travel for training may not want to stay at a hotel, but may want to stay in an Airbnb or something similar to that. We're not opposed to that, but a couple things. The city should not be on the hook for cost above and beyond what a hotel would be. So we think that needs to be in line here, either through fair market value, where we do research of other hotels or where they would stay, and we only reimburse that amount or cover that amount. Alternatively, the GSA also assigns a rate, depending on the location, per night. We could set that up. And then if an employee does elect that, hey, I don't really want to stay at a hotel, I'd rather stay at an Airbnb for whatever reason, and there are a multitude of reasons, but if they choose to elect that, the city's not on the hook for any additional cost. I think it is my opinion the employee should be responsible for paying for that Airbnb, and the city could then reimburse those expenses in accordance with the GSA standard. So a couple of different options there. It does also provide some clarity on reimbursement procedures, putting in a requirement from the employees to submit any expected reimbursement request within 10 days of the completion. We've had it before where employees will submit their reimbursement request maybe 30 days or a month, 2 months later, and then they're turning around and asking the city why that hasn't been processed in 5 days. So we need to kind of put some expectations there. The employees should be expected to submit their reimbursement request within 10 days, and then within 15 days, they would receive that. The reason why we chose 15 days is because that puts it pretty well in line with our payroll cycle. So we are able to kind of process reimbursements along the same time period without adding any additional stress over there. Some clarity on out-of-state travel. So all out-of-state travel for employees must be pre-approved by city manager. To be honest with you, I can't remember the last time we had out-of-state travel. It's extremely, extremely rare. And then just a couple of other clarities in here. But happy to discuss. We're just happy to let you take it and digest it, and we can come back next month, but we would look next month to possibly adopt an amended policy. Happy to answer any questions.
Next month.
Anything I'm missing?
No, I was just going to add that if we go back through, there were a couple things that we wanted to, a little bit further clarification, that we will send that ahead of time to you all with the agendas, and so that you have any adjustments that we make to it prior to the next meeting.
I think the lodging should be the GSA area it's in, because like in this area, it's 110 plus tax. So if they choose to get an Airbnb, the difference should be on them.
The difference should what?
Be on them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's normal, yeah. Should be.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, so next item is item B, monthly staff reports. First item is Police Department.
Green's on? Yeah. How y'all doing? First off, I had a really nice PowerPoint presentation done for you. It's still sitting on my desk. So
Sounds like a day.
I can show it to you as a rerun later, or we can just move on to the next one. Just to give a summary for the month of October's activities. Closer? Yeah. Okay. I don't want to be too loud.
You're not too loud.
The month of October's activities, our officers responded to 1,244 calls for service. In that, we had 9 traffic crashes. 2 of them were majors with injuries, 5 minors, and we had a couple of hit and runs. We had responded to 30 alarm calls, 22 commercial alarms, and that is considerably higher than what our average is. We had one particular business that was having a lot of false alarms. They were having some alarm issues, so that increased that number quite a bit. Similarly with 8 residential alarms. We had one residence that had multiple false alarms. We ended up with 9 assaults for the month, which that's up slightly from last month, but that's a little deceiving because most of them were unfounded. There was nothing to them when we got there. One of them did result in an arrest. There was something to that one. And we're currently investigating one sexual assault. We responded to assist outside agencies 20 times this past month, but this month it was limited to just the sheriff's office in Forest Hill. We didn't have to travel to Kennedale or help Fort Worth this month. We did respond to 10 burglary investigations. 5 of them were reported as burglaries in progress. One of those, our officers got there within a minute and 15 seconds and made an arrest on the burglar that was trying to break into the building. He also tried to report his car stolen. He said that it was stolen at a drinking party he had been at, and then later changed it to where he might have traded it for some drugs. So, unfounded. We handled 1 city ordinance violation, 4 criminal mischiefs, 3 criminal trespass, where again 1 person was arrested. We did respond to 2 deceased people, 29 disturbance calls, 16 general disturbance, 13 of them were domestic violence, domestic disturbance issues, some resulting in domestic violence. We had 1 DWI, 4 fight calls, and all 4 of those were school related. Didn't have a 1 outside the school this month. We responded to 5 calls involving mentally ill, 7 parking violations, 1 person with a gun, and that's kind of holding steady as an average of every month. Somebody's got a gun. 2 prowler calls, 5 missing persons or runaways, and I believe only 1 of those was actually a runaway. We did respond to 7 shots fired calls. We expect to see that around July 4th, but 7 for the month of October is a little out of the ordinary. I had 18 suspicious persons or vehicles, neighbors calling in vehicles that they don't recognize parked for way too long in their neighborhood. 8 thefts, 4 of those were unfounded. So, in all reality, we answered 8 theft calls, but there were only 4 thefts. We had 8 arrests involving the burglary of a building, DWI, 1 resisting arrest. We had 1 for injury to a family member, and we also had 1 for violation of a protective order that stemmed from one of the domestic disturbances. The thefts that we had, or the burglary of motor vehicles that we had, every one of them was somebody opened up an unlocked car door, got in it, and stole stuff. Please, if you're hearing this, tell everybody you know, lock your car. Take the valuables out, take them out of sight, put them in the house. A lot of times they're just wandering the neighborhoods looking for an open car door. They'll just check the handles. If it's not open, they walk on down the road. If it's open, they'll take whatever they want, whatever you have. Traffic enforcement, we had 258 calls, call sheets involving traffic stops. Of those, I take it back, I lied, 343 total. Of those, 258 calls were cleared with a citation, and 85 were cleared with warnings. You met Daquan, a recent Academy graduate. He's looking very promising. He's enjoying it here. He's enjoying the town. Jennifer Frias, that you met previously, is just about to finish up her field training. She's getting close to the end. She can almost see it. She'll be cut out on her own very soon. We've got active shooter training. I mentioned it last month. Coming up this month. I believe it's over the Thanksgiving weekend. We're going to be in the schools working on active shooter processes. Our canine officer, Ricky Murado, and his dog Nuke just completed a certification course for obedience and narcotics detection. So he's got 2 certifications under his belt right now. Dog is impressive. He's very fast. He's very accurate. He's a good addition to the department. I just came back from a week in Huntsville. I was down there for the new Chiefs Development Program. It's a state mandated course. When you get promoted to chief in the first 2 years, you're mandated to take 80 hours of training, 40 hours one block, and then at a later time you get the other 40 hours. Very good training, very good course. It truly should be longer. And just wanted to make a note. October 22nd marked the 5th anniversary. We lost Alex. Still hard. He's always with us. That's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so our code enforcement's not here, so we're going to drop down to animal services.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Did you see I got it down to 2 pages?
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Let me get these. Okay, October, we had a very busy month. We took in 45 dogs total. From Everman, we took in 13 of those came from Everman. We had a total of 31 cats. So October was a big cat month. 16 of those came from Everman. I want to make sure, I gave everybody one of these too, right? I just want to make sure. All right, our positive outcomes. So I kind of wanted to do the numbers different this fiscal year. I wanted to really show the positive outcomes, and I wanted to show how we break down the behaviors of the dogs and cats, and the live release was based on those. So our positive outcomes, our adoptions at the shelter, we had 2 dogs, but our mobile adoption center, we had 11. So that mobile adoption center is really getting us out there, and people are seeing us a lot more. We did 8 return to owners at the shelter. Our field officers did 6 return to owners out in the field, getting the animals back home. They're scanning for microchips, they're knocking on doors, they're doing everything they can to keep the animals from actually coming into the building. And then we transferred out 10 to rescue organizations. And if you'll notice, that when I first started, that was one of our goals, is we were transferring out so many more animals to rescue groups and hardly doing any adoptions, which my goal was to get that 50-50, so we're getting there. And our staff's just been doing an incredible job focusing on that. Our outcomes for cats, we didn't have any adoptions at the shelter. We did have 3 outside the shelter. No return to owners. Generally, people don't microchip cats, so we don't get to get them in. And most of our cats are caught in traps, and they're not very nice. But we did transfer out 18 out to rescue organizations, and we TNR'd and returned 3 back into the community. So the next page on the live release rate, what we did is I always broke it down, and I said, okay, well, our live release rate is this number. And it really wasn't fair, because one month you could have, if we had 20 animals, 18 of them were tier 1s, which are healthy, adoptable, easy to move animals. And so our live release rate was awesome. And the next month, all the dogs who hate people got out, and now they only have, now we have only 8 tier 1s, and the rest of them are tier 2s and 3s. So of course our numbers are going to be different. So I wanted to break this down. So out of those dogs that we released, 18 of them were tier 1s, and we had 100% live release rate. Got them all out. We had 23 tier 2 dogs, which they have maybe minor medical, other behavioral things that are going on that are more minor, but we got 70% of those out. And our tier 3 dogs, which either they got severe medical or severe behavioral issues, but we got 75% of those out. But we only brought 4 of those in, so that was pretty good. And our cats, our tier 1s, we were 100% live release rate. Tier 2s, we brought in 3 of those, and we were 100% live release rate. And 19 tier 3s, which are feral cats, we still got 63% of those out. So they did a really good job, and I hope that helps with knowing how hard they're working. We're really getting animals moved out. We did a total of 209 calls in the field last month in October, and I got to give kudos to the staff, because I was out, and even when I got to go back, my doctor said I couldn't do certain things, so I wasn't able to help like I'd like to. They really stepped up and did an incredible job out there. Out of those 209, 66 of those were in Everman. And we also, while I had some time to not be able to do a lot, we revamped how we do our dispatching and how we're collecting data for what we're doing in the field. So for instance, this is breaking down. So in Everman, the calls that they did, we did 1 cruelty investigation. We had 7 vicious animal calls. We had 10 special assignments. We did 20 loose dog calls. We picked up 8 deceased animals. They did 20 confined animals, and there was no close patrol. So that kind of breaks down, lets you know what the officers are doing out into the field. And we received a total of 2,055 phone calls in October, which was the highest we've ever had. So they were super busy, and that was like 52% more than we did the previous year. Yeah, we were super, super busy. And like I said, the team there did just an outstanding job. Any questions? Or?
Yes, I've got a question.
Yes, ma'am.
On page 1, total positive outcomes, dogs and cats. What's the difference between return to owner shelter and return to owner field?
Okay, so return to owner shelters, we picked up that animal and we scanned it. We couldn't find the owner. We brought it back to the shelter, and then we started looking at like Pet Finder or people calling, and they're looking for their animal. That's when we post it on the website. We get it posted on, I can't remember the name, Pet Love or something like that. But it goes out, and the owners see the dog at the shelter. They come down and they bail them out of jail.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And in the field is where the officer finds it. They'll scan the animal or whatever. They find out where the animal lives, and then we take them to that house and give them a warning. Unless it's a repeat offender, then they get more than that, but, but yeah, we try to get them home. What's that, sir?
Three-strike rule for a dog?
That's right. That's right.
Three-strike rule for the owner. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Next item is fire department.
Good evening, council. My name's Lieutenant Newton. Second time up here, so y'all bear with me. All right, so we're going to jump into emergency incidents. Calls of service between October 15th, November 9th is 109 calls. Average response time for all calls, including county jurisdiction. The NFPA standard and overall goal for fires is 80 seconds. EMS calls is 60 seconds. Our fire and route time is 1 minute and 6. Total response to scene, 6 minutes and 54 seconds. EMS route times are 1 minute 20. Total response to scene is 3 minutes and 53 seconds. Our incident by response types are fire type incident, building, vehicle, grass, etc. We had 10. This month we had 2 in-city structure fires, 1 commercial structure fire in the 200 block of Shelby. It's currently under investigation. 1 residential outbuilding that spread to a neighbor's guest house / outbuilding. That is currently under investigation as well. Medical emergencies, we ran 70. Motor vehicle accidents were 6. Hazardous conditions, up to 4. Entrapment / rescue, we had 1. Others at 18. Staffing. Offers were given to 2 new firefighters. Expected date is the 20th and 22nd of this month. We will currently be fully staffed. We also had our ISO come out and evaluate us. So the ISO provided update should have preliminary unofficial scoring before the end of the year, and we will not have the official scoring up until March or April of 2026. Any questions?
Why does it take so long to get the official word back?
It's the federal government.
Yeah,
Sorry, I couldn't.
that's good.
I still want to know why it takes so long. Bunch of
My best
freeloaders.
answer for that would be, yeah, it takes a little bit for the paperwork, and there's a list in order to get going. So,
There's actually an opportunity, when they give us the official scoring, they give us an opportunity for the chief and the fire department, public works director to review that and respond to it. So if we feel like there's something off, we can essentially appeal that before they give a final finding. You got to remember, ISO only comes around once every 5 to 10 years, so it'll be a long time. When we get our ISO rating, it's pretty much set in stone for a while, and it takes quite a bit to request an ISO inspection to come out and change the numbers. So
On the en route times.
Yes, sir.
On EMS.
yes, sir.
What's taking longer on EMS than?
So it doesn't say on here, so our daytime response is under 60 seconds. Our nighttime after hours is up to 90 seconds. So with the average between nighttime and daytime, we're still in before 1.5 minutes.
So at night, then we need to tell them to move a little bit quicker?
We always
Give
can,
a
but
little
it's
that 60 seconds?
yes, sir, but it's a lot startling at nighttime, so it takes a little bit more to get the coffee going. But yes, sir, it's always a goal to be faster.
not throwing you under a bus by
No,
any
sir.
means, sir. Question.
Yep.
So Chief was providing before on these reports, there was a stat on there about the number of times you guys would get a call while you were already on a call.
Yes, sir.
And I know that happens a lot.
Yes, sir.
Is that a factor in that minute 20, you think?
It can be.
Okay.
So dispatch is supposed to already dispatch another agency, but sometimes that kind of filters wrong and it's still dispatched to us, and it takes a little bit for us to finish up on a previous call if we're able to cut first responders to go to the next one. So that is a factor, and that has happened a few times this month already.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank y'all. Have a good night.
Thanks.
Okay. Next item is Public Works.
Everybody's doing it here, so I decided to do it. So for Public Works, for Parks and Streets this month, Council and Mayor, We've been quite busy or occupied in making sure all the festivities are being well taken care of. But first, I wanted to say thank you to Ms. Judy and her team. They helped us out with the wreaths to get those ready for the Christmas event. So thank you so much for your help with that. So we appreciate that. And also for Parks and Streets, we were able to replace signs. We'll only be able to done 3 this month. We've done 1 pothole, and most of our time and efforts have been in making sure that National Night Out had been taken care of. Timberview Farms Halloween Festival was taken care of, and I heard some really good feedback, so I'm glad the guys did an awesome job. So, Public Works, thank you. Appreciate that. So that's Parks and Streets, what they've been doing this past month. As we go into Water Department, we do have our routine daily well reports as normal. We also had a couple guys that worked National Night Out. There have been several leaks at our well sites. One of them you see there is in a picture. That's a Shelby chlorine room that keeps our water quality in good shape. So we have to making sure that got taken care of. Also, the guys have been work on a plan that we got for all the well sites. We want to make sure all the well sites are clean, well taken care of, and we have started that project as of this year budget. So we want to make sure everything's clean up. So give us a couple months, swing by Shelby, take a look at it, and you'll see a big difference. That's the plan. The guys have done about 100 plus work orders, turn-offs, turn-ons. Usually that's a norm every month. We have changed 3 curb stops, fixed a 2-inch pipe here in Pittman Park. We have tested the irrigation, so it should be good to go. And also we had 9 sewer calls that we were able to help the customers on those. So that's Public Works for this month. Any questions?
Thank you.
Curb stops are the ones that we're able to cut off your water if there's like a break inside your home or something like that. Yes, ma'am. All right, thank you.
Next item, item C, staff report, briefing of the city council on new agreement between the Everman Community Development Corporation and Retail Strategies LLC.
All right. A few of the council members are already aware of this because you serve on CDC, so you approved this agreement. But we did put out a press release this last month announcing a new agreement that CDC has approved between the CDC and Retail Strategies. I'm excited to report that we've already had our kickoff meeting with them, and they are already hitting the ground running on getting a lot of research done. What Retail Strategies is it is a professional firm that is going to work very closely with city staff and the CDC to go out and recruit quality retail businesses to come into our city. They're essentially a marketing firm that is going to come in and conduct a study, find out from city staff, city council, CDC, business owners, and residents what it is we have a desire to have here in our community, and they're going to go out and work to recruit those businesses to come here on our behalf. They will go to very large conferences like ICSC that's coming up in February, and they will coordinate and deliver packages to these companies to bring them and draw them into our community. I truly believe this is probably the single best investment that CDC or the city has made as far as retail recruitment in a very long time. We have seen a lot of success with this. One very close success story is the city of Forest Hill, who uses them as well. If you've seen the new strip center off Interstate 20, just east of Forest Hill Drive, where the Dunkin' Donuts and everything is there, that's a Retail Strategies project. So these are quality, big name brands that they work with, such as Dunkin' Donuts and Starbucks and Chick-fil-A. I mean, that's who they're targeting to try to attract, to bring in, to drive our local economy. Not only are they going to work to recruit businesses to come in and build from the ground up, but they will also work with our existing business owners who may have lease spots available that are sitting vacant to try to recruit quality businesses to come in and fill those leases and get businesses in there that will benefit both business owners and the community together. So we're kicking it off now. We're excited to see where this goes. We'll be probably coming back to you to ask you for your input on what it is you feel like the priorities are for our community and what it is you would like to see. CDC is obviously going to have that input as well. They're going to be working very closely with CDC and try to drive this in the direction you want it to go. But I think it's going to take us to the next level as far as retail recruitment. Now, that being said, I don't want anybody to get any false expectations that in 6 months we're going to have a Starbucks, a Chick-fil-A, and 32 different shops down here at the corner. It takes a while. It takes a while. But the sooner we start this, the sooner we'll start to see that fruit come back. So they have said don't expect any results for about 18 months because that's just how long the process takes when you're working with developers and big companies like this. So we're excited to kick this off and look forward to seeing where this goes. And I'll answer any questions.
Can you remind me what that's going to cost this city?
The CDC is paying for it, so there's no dollars coming out of general fund or from the general fund. But the contract amount was $45,000 a year from CDC dollars. And they had that within their budget, a little less than that within their budget. CDC will have to come back and approve a budget amendment. But we had budgeted, I believe, $30,000 in there for professional services for this very reason. The cost just came in higher than what we had thought it might, but still very well worth it, I believe.
Any other questions or comments? Next item, item D, review, discussion, and city council consideration and deliberation on proposed uses for the 51st year CDBG grant funds.
So, each year you guys are familiar, we come back with council and usually we kind of surprise you with a resolution that says, hey, we're asking you to approve a CDBG project. And typically and historically, it has always been a water line project. CDBG are federal dollars that are granted to us and managed through the county that help to pay for qualifying projects. Water lines is a good use of those funds, but it is not the only use of those funds. And in discussion with Gilbert and the city engineers, we've looked at this. We've realized that, at least since I've been here, we've never really brought it to council and asked you, what do you want to do with these dollars? They're your dollars. Where do you want to see them invested? The amount of dollars that we would get is about $150,000 in federal funds that come in for these projects. We've done water lines before because typically it's quick, it's easy. It does go a little further than maybe what some other projects were, but it's still a very small portion. Typically we can do about one residential block's worth of water line for that amount of money. So it is somewhat of a small project. In talking with Gilbert, there's always going to be some sort of water line project that we could do, but maybe there are some alternatives that we could consider using these funds for. If y'all remember, the HUD dollars that we were awarded federally that were supposed to go towards the park and things over here, it just fell through. We were not able to get those dollars, not because of any malicious intent. It just didn't happen the way that we had hoped and anticipated it would happen. One eligible project for these funds is the walking track. We can redo the walking track with some of these funds, and that's an eligible use. Now, to do the whole north side of the walking track, the cost would be about $300,000, but we can spread these projects out and do them in segments each year if we choose to do so. So that is one option. Some other options is that we could implement some ADA compliant intersections if we wanted to with some curb cuts and sidewalks. I don't personally recommend that because later on here in the next couple of months, we're going to be asking you to approve a resolution to participate in the Safe Streets grant that will put in all new sidewalks in the city. So I don't know that that's necessarily a good use of the funds, but it could be if it's outside the current project scope. So I just really wanted to open it up for discussion with y'all and see what it is you guys wanted to invest your dollars into, because I don't believe you've ever been asked where you want to see these dollars go, and they're your dollars, so where would you like to see them go?
I don't ever remember being asked.
No.
We just show up with it on the agenda, and this is what we're doing with it.
Right.
Okay, so we've got a couple of things. The walking track. What else? We're just told. We don't know what we don't know. What, you know.
New sidewalks, some park improvements, but bear in mind, park improvements cannot occur within the floodway. Federal dollars will not be used in a floodway. They can be, but you will use every single dollar doing the environmental study that's required to do the project, so it's just not worth it. That kind of wipes out a big chunk of Pittman Park. But there are some potential projects within Johnson Park that we could look to do with these dollars.
So I start to say, what about Johnson?
Yeah, right.
You know,
And I won't be able to sit here and give you a firm yes or no answer, but if you give me a direction you want me to go, Gilbert and I will leave here and we will go that direction and come back with some final answers for you, because that's exactly the conversation we're having with our engineer right now. But I feel like y'all need to be brought into that conversation, not just me and Gilbert.
So, like if we use this funds at the Johnson Park, could it be used like for new restrooms, a new concession stand area, or is it specifically park related, like?
It needs to be, I can tell you it needs to be something new. So if it was to be the restrooms, it would need to be new restroom facilities. It could not be a renovation or upgrade of existing facilities. They did make that very clear to us. So it would need to be new facilities if we look to go that path.
How about, just a thought, Gilbert gins up 10 or 12 things that he thinks would fit into that to give us something to work from. Because I got to be honest, I got nothing sitting here.
Well, just because of what he just mentioned, I definitely would want to see some funds go into the walking track. People use it all the time.
Right.
All the time.
But
That would probably be a priority, but then I would also agree with a new facility for restrooms at the Johnson Park.
A new restaurant might eat up the whole thing. I'd just like to see some other ideas. I like the walking track, but there's got to be other things around town that need some attention. Surely there's other things. I just would like to know what they are from Gilbert's perspective.
He's back there shaking his head, yep.
Ray, I'm shaking my head at Ray. I need my glasses. Anyway, we're just at the thinking, kicking it off stage. So what else might be out there? I mean, we don't have to give you an answer tonight, do we?
No, but we do need to, probably next meeting, we would have to have a final decision on what direction it is you want us to take.
That's cool.
Because we have to complete the application for CDBG.
Okay, so send us something in email.
Anything on animal control?
what?
Animal control? ACO?
I'll ask, but I don't think so. Maybe as far as, like HVAC upgrading to, do you remember what that's called, Gilbert? It's not just putting in a new air conditioner, but it's the antimicrobial and positive pressure. There are some HVAC options that we could use the dollars on that are available. New park grounds. So we used, if you recall, there was an extra boost during the coronavirus when we were dealing with COVID. They gave us a boost of funds, and we used some of those COVID CDBG dollars to help us complete the Noel playground. So new playground facilities, as long as it's new, can't fix old ones, but as long as it's new, that kind of stuff works. I don't think we could use it towards like a new facility, and I'm trying to think if there's any way to tie it into animal control. I mean,
There's nothing down there that,
the big need is a new facility. I
Yeah.
just don't know how we would tie that in, to be honest with you. Trying to think. We'll see if we can get creative and ask.
Okay.
What about a pickleball court at Johnson Park?
A new court, yes. Asking them to convert the existing court would probably get denied. They would probably tell us no.
I'd rather spend the money on the walking track.
Yeah.
Nothing
Right.
personal on
Right,
the
for sure.
Pickleball, something, up there.
Yeah. Okay, I could be persuaded for the walking track.
I would say the walking
Yeah.
track. I think community really
Yeah.
needs the walking track. I see people on there all the time.
All
My-
times of the
yes,
day.
all the time.
Yeah.
Morning,
Even
night,
when
day.
it's dark, they're walking.
Yes. I think they would be very happy, community people would be very happy to have the walking track back.
But just remember, you know, a lot of that's in the floodplain and floodway. We can't spend those dollars on those areas. We'd have to see how much of the walking trail we could even consider doing.
Would it be like, you mean like from the creek that way or from the creek this way? They just can't like be in between or?
We'd have to look at the maps.
These dollars couldn't be spent in the floodway. So you could do the walking track with these dollars outside of the floodway, but then somehow we would need to find or allocate funding to complete the middle portions that don't get completed with these dollars. So we could slate the whole project and we could use these dollars towards everything outside the floodway and then look to find funding internally or otherwise to complete the portions in between. And we can put it, we can put this together to give you some visuals and an idea of what it would take and how far the dollars will go, if that's the path you guys want us to take. And we could put together a couple of other concept ideas too, to help out.
Or can we just do like half of a walkway from the creek down to the memorial?
As long as it's outside the floodway, we can do any portion of it.
I mean, I'd rather have a good walking track and go around it 10 times if we can't combine it together because of the flood zone.
Yeah.
But at least give them a good walking track for people to be able to walk on, run, and not have any accidents or incidents.
Can you do a walking track at Johnson Park?
Yeah, I don't believe Johnson Park is in a floodway other than maybe the far north portion right at the entrance. But I don't think Johnson Park is in a floodway at all. So I would say yes, I think we could. That would be an all-new walking track, so we could do that.
You wouldn't have Wichita and Ray Street there, all the cars. You'd just be up there by yourself, which would be good.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
You wouldn't have Ray Street and Wichita Street, all the traffic.
Were you talking walking park?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, track. Well, let's see some numbers on that. I mean, we traditionally ignored Johnson Park anyway. Every dollar seems to go to Pittman.
Right.
So, yeah, let's see something on Johnson.
It would be quieter up there.
Yeah. Yeah, but make sure you move your car over 2 hours because you'll get a ticket if you park in it. I think that needs to be non-school hours, by the way, just saying. That in school hours only. I thought it was 24 hours.
No, I think it's all.
Okay.
I just think that Pittman Park for the walking trail still attracts more people because of the playground that we have, the restrooms, the pavilion. It's not the same as Johnson. I mean, we may attract people out there, but the same flow that we see now, we're not going to see up there as what we see here.
No.
Well, there's nothing up there.
Yeah, exactly. There's nothing up there. The
So-
only way we're going to get people to play more up there is if we start putting stuff up there.
I'm not swaying one way or the other. I will just say we do see dozens and dozens of people out here in the mornings on the walking track.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
It does get heavily utilized.
I don't ever drive by it and there's not somebody on it.
Right.
It is very heavily utilized.
Okay, something to think about.
Okay, so,
Workups on both of them,
yes.
both parks.
Yeah,
What the heck?
why not?
Why not?
Take a look at it and see how much.
That's right. And y'all are going to get that to us before next meeting, so we'll have a chance to look at it. Okay, so we'll take some kind of action or make a decision next meeting, because we will have this stuff before.
Probably not a formal action, but we would at least need a general consensus on what we're filing for.
Gotcha.
Because there will be a deadline approaching.
Okay.
So as long as we have a consensus, you probably won't have to take any official action on this until next fiscal, or until next calendar year.
Okay,
So.
cool. I like it.
Anything else?
No, I think we beat that up.
Okay, next item, item E, City of Everman and City of Fort Worth Joint Ordinance and Boundary Agreement.
All right, I'm really excited for this one. Jared, do you mind sharing my presentation or my screen? Okay, perfect. So we will be coming back to you next month likely next month, as long as we get the ordinance completed. But we have been working on this for quite some time. As far as Timberview Farmstead goes, I think everybody's aware that we have been working on trying to reach an agreement to annex them into becoming the city of Everman. One of the big pinch points has been is that the portion along Enon Avenue that they're conjoined to is the city of Fort Worth. If they were to develop anything on Timberview's property, they would be assessed major impact fees to the city of Fort Worth. And those transportation impact fees don't necessarily have to be reinvested back into Enon Avenue, they just have to be invested back into the region. That was kind of a pinch point. One of the things that came up as we were negotiating development agreements was essentially, hey, would the city of Everman consider reimbursing those costs? I don't think it's a good idea for us to reimburse those costs when those costs may not even be reinvested back into our area and could wind up north on England somewhere or somewhere else outside the city. That just didn't seem viable. Talking with the city of Fort Worth, they don't currently have any plans to rehab the portion of Enon Avenue from the end of our city limit to England Drive. It is not in their master thoroughfare plan to conduct any widening or do anything beyond just maintaining the potholes that are existing out there. Talking with Commissioner Miles' office, he has agreed to support us. If we were to get Enon Avenue, they will come in and take care of repaving that and reconstructing that roadway for us. The purpose of this boundary adjustment is essentially the city of Fort Worth has agreed to, staff has agreed to, it's still awaiting council approval obviously, but it would change the boundary and make Enon Avenue all the way to England Drive, instead of being the city of Fort Worth, to becoming the city of Everman. It would be an annexation. This would allow us to annex Timberview Farmstead without having to worry about any potential transportation impact dollars that they would have to pay above and beyond. It would allow us to rehab this road and just really open up a door for us to finally move this project forward, because we've been stuck on this hiccup here for at least 5 years. So our recommendation is obviously for approval. One of the cons to consider is it is additional roadway we will be absorbing, so we have to be mindful of long-term cost. We will be responsible for that roadway. It is about 1,200 feet of roadway that we're bringing in, but with Commissioner Miles' commitment to supporting us on reconstructing this roadway, staff recommendation is it's worth the investment to bring that in, and the development that should occur out there after an annexation should offset those costs in the long run. But just wanted to share it with you and open it up for discussion.
Let's do it. So is are we just annexing the roadway, or are we annexing this whole corner all the way to Shelby?
This particular ordinance is just a property exchange, so to speak, of the roadway. We're not annexing any land outside of the roadway, just the roadway and existing right-of-way is all that's being conveyed.
Because that road needs to be widened just a little.
Yeah.
And if that's part of the city or the county, Miles saying he would widen it once we get it annexed, right?
Well, so Commissioner Miles has, I was going to say, I don't want to speak for.
Resurface, sorry.
Commissioner Miles has committed to reconstructing it as it exists. Now, we can always go back and see about a potential of widening it and seeing what that would look like. We can have that discussion, absolutely. But the commitment has been to reconstruct and resurface, not to widen currently.
That could come with additional costs when you're talking about having to do land acquisition. So we'd have to be mindful of that.
Do it. That's my recommendation.
Any questions?
I just like it resurfaced because there's a lot of potholes and people are like doing this, getting close, like I don't want to get into this pothole. So that's why I was saying a little wider, because people, but if it's a nice road, then you're not going to, and as long as there's a line down the middle, you stay on your side, I stay on mine.
Understood. Okay.
We hear the discussion? Next item, item F, discussion related to consideration of an adoption of a historic preservation ordinance and establishing a historic preservation commission.
The mayor and I have been talking about this for a little while, and then I here recently brought in the mayor pro tem on some options. As y'all are aware, Trammell Street has, that's where the history is behind Everman, and to be frank, I don't think the city has done a very good job about trying to preserve that history or even restore the history. And mayor has been adamant about taking some steps to starting down that road. So upon researching some options and trying to figure out, hey, how can we start down this road, knowing that we have existing budget constraints, how do we start down the path? Well, there are some funding options out there available to us through grants from the Texas Historical Commission. One of the first steps in working towards those grants is establishing a historic preservation ordinance and establishing a historic preservation commission. The ordinance that the attorney would draft and bring to you would establish a commission who would then have the authority to make recommendations on areas within the city that could be declared a historic preservation district. Once we have areas that are declared a historic preservation district by both the commission and the council, we can then take those districts and apply for funding, grant funding from the Texas Historical Commission to rehabilitate and restore those buildings back to their original condition. There are some pretty stringent requirements when we talk about restoration of historical buildings, so we do want to be mindful of that as we continue to move forward, but I think this is a great first step on getting us there. Here recently at the TML conference, I think it was the TML, we're going to so many conferences, I feel like I'm losing them all. Susan and I had the pleasure of being able to sit through a session that was put on by the Texas Historical Commission that really talked about some great options that were available out there for us. And so we've already taken that first leap in trying to become members of their First Street program, which is going to kind of open up some doors for us for funding as well, in hopes that council would consider adopting an ordinance. I just kind of wanted to put this before you for discussion. I know you hate surprises, so that's why it's on this agenda, because next month we'll likely be bringing back a historic preservation ordinance for your consideration and adoption. And then obviously I'll be willing to answer any questions that you might have regarding that.
I like it, let's do it. There's no reason why we shouldn't. We've got that cute little area that we need to develop. It's just been sitting there.
What little area we have left, so.
Exactly, yeah. That they can walk around. I don't think there's enough space to drive on it.
Everybody will say yes until you get a couple of firemen in the door, and then they're going to yell at you about roundabouts, especially small ones.
We're going to drive across the middle of the roundabout to get to the fire line.
They will.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Not good, not good.
Well, and I do know one of the houses there off of Enon, across from Hommel, Bonnie and Clyde used to hang out at that house. So there's some history there, and that, I'm not sure which house it is, but it's one of them right there, so just, there's some interesting stuff.
Murderers. Don't get me started on Bonnie and Clyde, right? I know, historic. I know. Okay, let's do it. What do you think? Yeah, sure. I'm good.
And we can kind of piecemeal it. I mean, we don't want to come in and name through the whole street. Put those people under the same criteria when they're not in old homes.
Yeah, so I don't want to lie to you, Mayor. I don't know exactly what the requirements are, but I do know that it has to be a parcel. So we couldn't split a parcel in any way. But I do believe that we could come in and declare one parcel as a historic facility. I do know that we have the ability to do that. I don't know how frequently or if there's restrictions on, you're limited to how many individual ones you have or how many districts we have per the size of our city. I don't know if there's that kind of requirement, but I do know we do have the ability to do at least one parcel because I've seen it done in other municipalities.
I mean, I'd like us to consider the Langley house that's used for photography now, but the one with all the European stuff inside of it. And, you know, it's a new history, but it's history, so. But
Is there a lot of grant money not being used for like historical for cities, different cities? Is it?
I don't-
I mean, I don't know.
I don't know for a fact, but I will tell you, they seemed like they were trying to give it away. I mean, they really did.
That's what
They
I was
were
wondering,
begging
yeah.
for participation, that, hey, we've got, we've got these opportunities. We need you to be a part of it. I think one of the hiccups of why they don't get so much participation is because there are some very stringent requirements. It can be very, very restrictive on what you're allowed to do. And so that sometimes kind of deters, I think, some issues. If you're really trying to redevelop, you can't really redevelop. You can restore, but you can't really redevelop. And so it has its pros and cons, and I think we just need to be very cognitive of that as we move forward to make sure that we don't kind of fall into one of those pitfalls that some other places have fallen into.
any other questions? Okay, so let's drop down to item A, consideration and possible action. Item A, actions concerning appointments to city boards and commissions.
All right, Mayor, I would like to make 2 appointments to the Mayor's Youth, what's that, A? I knew that, Advisory Committee appointments. I would like to recommend Phoebe Dudley and Faraha Murangi. Faraha. As new appointees to the Mayor's Youth Advisory Committee.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion?
I was just going to say, both of them were here tonight, and we had our first YAC meeting this evening at 5 o'clock. That's what y'all walked into, but it actually worked out really good for us. We love it. I'm sorry that we got you a little delayed, but it was great on our side. But both of them were here tonight. They're ready to be active, and with these 2 appointments, that should give us a full board.
Yes.
Any other discussion? Just poll the council.
Place 1. Place 2.
Aye.
Place 4.
Aye.
Place 5.
Aye.
Place 6. Aye. Mayor,
Aye.
motion carried.
Do we have any other boards or the CDC, is it full?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I noticed somebody did turn in a job form on that,
Yeah.
but we are full on that one.
Yes.
Okay. And
Okay.
Senior Citizens Board, we don't have any, it's full?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just making sure, so. Okay, next item B, consideration of permit application number 4970 for a commercial property garage sale located at 613 Shelby Road, Suite A.
Where's that? What is that?
It is, yeah, it's right across from Baxter in the in the commercial development over there.
Okay, I'm asking it wrong. What company is it?
The applicant unfortunately is not here tonight, and I don't know if the applicant is even still interested. So the applicant had reached out to the city and wanted to have a garage sale because her husband, who was the owner of the business, had passed away, and they were trying to liquidate everything that they had. She had applied for a permit, a garage sale permit, like any other resident would, but our most recent ordinance that you passed says that commercial property garage sales require council approval. We did inform her that, hey, the next opportunity we could get you before the council would be this evening. We're happy to put you on there. Had a little bit of an email exchange. She was trying to do the garage sale before tonight's meeting. I don't know what the outcome, I don't know if she had it and just did it without a permit, or if she maybe is just waiting for us to email her back what the decision was. But we do have it on the agenda for your consideration tonight. It is because of the death of the owner. They are trying to liquidate the business and get everything out of there. I don't know what the business was, to be honest with you. I wish I had more information outside of that. So I do know that it's in the retail park there that's right across from Baxter Junior High.
That's it? Right.
Well, I know that we just try to prevent for some commercial business to have garage sales every weekend and just put things out. So I guess this is a special circumstance, so.
It did sound genuine. I mean, if you ask me for my recommendation based on the circumstances and a one-time use, I mean, I think staff recommendation would be for approval. We have no concern here. I think the intent and the soul of that ordinance was to prevent some businesses that we had that were just continually hosting random garage sales, and they weren't even people from that business.
Yeah.
But I think this was a good one.
Okay. You need a motion?
Do we have a motion?
Yeah. I move we approve permit application number 4970 as read.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion?
Is this just for one time?
Yes, so she would have to reapply each time she wants to host one, yes.
All right.
So if I'm looking at this right, it was gentry, carpentry, and construction.
Okay, that sounds
If I'm looking at this right.
Say it again?
Gentry, carpentry, and construction.
I'm sorry, I'm going to look at, hey, Jared, does that sound right? It does sound right. Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, that's it.
So we have a motion, it's been seconded. Any other discussion? Would you poll the council?
Place 1. Place 2.
Aye.
Place 4.
Aye.
Place 5.
Aye.
Place 6.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Next item, city manager's report.
I've got just a couple of things. So this is our last council meeting before the big Christmas market. We've got a huge day planned. Starting at 10:30 in the morning, we'll have the holiday market open up. We are going to host a car show this year. Pray for me. Pray for us. Hopefully it goes well. I'm really nervous about how many cars we're going to have out there, but we're doing a bang-up job of trying to keep it organized and put together. But we think it's going to be just a huge turnout this year. So we will have a car show be a part of this as well. We have over 60 vendors now that have registered and are signed up to be there, so it's going to be a huge turnout as far as the market. We've got a full day planned all the way leading up till 6 o'clock, where we will then transition over to the Pittman Park main stage and host our annual tree lighting ceremony. The kids are going to be here and do their tradition of singing for everybody. Miss Christmas herself will be there to help lead us in the countdown and light up of the tree. We'll have Santa come in. The entire Civic Center will be converted into the Winter Wonderland. We've got the whole shebang, all of it in one full, long, exhausting day. But it's going to be a lot of fun. So we're really, really excited about it. It has garnered a lot of attention on Facebook. So we're really fired up for that and ready to see that come in. Secondly, I just want to remind everybody, all of our citizens, about the Christmas Spirit Challenge this year. We do have that up and running. It is on Facebook. Nobody's registered so far this year, so I'm hoping somebody's going to have some Christmas spirit and willing to register. But please help us to try to encourage residents to sign up for this so that we can have some participation and encourage some Christmas spirit.
I've seen maybe one place that's got a Christmas spirit, but it's kind of early.
Not yet, but probably will. We're looking at changing that system up a little bit, but yes, most likely will.
So maybe if you see somebody that's really went all out, maybe you approach them and ask them maybe to participate?
Yes.
No.
The Veterans Day. So we did have our Veterans Day breakfast this morning, and it was pretty cool. It was really awesome. It wasn't really any different than any other year, except for one very special thing, and that's the Everman ISD Souder Elementary Honors Choir came to participate. I was expecting like 10 or 15 kids. There was like 50 of them.
60 or more.
They filled the room, and they had the most beautiful voices, and they did a phenomenal job of singing their own rendition of the national anthem and 2 other additional songs that were dedicated to the veterans. All the veterans loved it. It was beautiful.
Harmony was just phenomenal for these little kids. Oh
So
my God.
they did a phenomenal job. It was a great breakfast this morning. So I look forward to next year and hopefully having them back. It was a lot of fun. We had TML conference earlier this month that many of our staff members and several of y'all had an opportunity to go to. That was a great experience, and we made a lot of really good connections. Of course, everybody wants our money, but we're trying to filter through that. Mayor, or you're going to talk about Resilient City, I'm sure, so I won't take your thunder there.
You go ahead.
Mayor and I had an opportunity to go to Resilient City Expo last week in Houston. That was unique. We didn't really know what we were walking into. Well, when we got there, lo and behold, nobody really knew what they were walking into because this was the first time they've hosted it here. And it turned out to be really, really cool. There were a ton of vendors there that we connected with, one of which actually we may be looking to bring back to you guys that would be better than our current CTY system.
Maybe two.
Yeah. So we made a lot of connections down there, and it was really, really good. So that was a very beneficial expo to be able to go to and make those connections. And then this week, all but I think 2 of our CDC members, and then Susan and I are going to Bastrop for the TML Economic Development Conference. I'm ready for November to be done because I'm traveling everywhere, but just tired of conferences. But it's been a busy month, so that's all I've got.
Well, Craig took what I was going to say. So. I asked you. No, I don't have anything. So, like I said, just a lot of conferences. I'm tired. I'm beat up. This summer has been horrible. I'm ready for it to be over with. So, but with that being said, the time is 7:35 and we are adjourned. The screws won. No.